Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly, and today our topic is how to add paid Stripe invoice details in Google Sheets. So here my objective is that whenever I'm going to get a new invoice paid in my Stripe account, then automatically by using all those details of my invoice, I'm going to add these details in my Google Sheet. So for my objective, I have to build a connection between Stripe and Google Sheets. So for building this connection, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing software for automation and integration. In Pabbly Connect, I need to use the concept of trigger and action. In trigger application, I'm going to use Stripe. In action application, I'm going to use Google Sheets. So how I'm going to build this connection? For that, let me take you to my computer screen. I hope all you can see my computer screen. And today we are diving into an exciting and incredibly useful topic. How to add paid Stripe invoice details in Google Sheet. Whether you are a small business owner, a freelancer, or anyone who handles online transactions, then managing and organizing your invoice details can be a daunting task. But don't worry, we have got you covered. So Stripe is a powerful payment processing platform used by millions of businesses around the world. It helps you accept payments, send invoices, and much more. However, manually tracking all your paid invoices can be time-consuming and prone to errors. On the other hand, we have Google Sheet. So Google Sheet is a fantastic tool for organizing data and keeping everything in one place. Imagine the convenience of having all your paid invoice details from Stripe automatically updated in Google Sheet. In today's video, I will show you step by step how to connect Stripe with Google Sheet using Pabbly Connect. And you know the best part is that you don't need any coding and programming skills to set up this automation. So by the end of this video, you will learn how to set up automated workflow that fetches paid invoice details from Stripe and adds them directly into Google Sheet. This will save your time, reduce errors, and give you a clear overview of transaction in real time. So let's get started, and I will open a new tab and I'm going to search for pabbly.com/connect, and it will take us to this landing page of Pabbly Connect. Here we have two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you don't have any account with Pabbly Connect, then you just have to click on this sign up for free button, and it will take only 2 minutes of your time and you will get 100 tasks free every month. Or if you already have an account, you can just sign in and you will get to see this page. So these are all the apps that Pabbly offers, and we are going to use Pabbly Connect here. For that, I need to click here on this Access Now button under Pabbly Connect, and it will direct us to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here, this is the workflow section, and we can see all the workflows that we will create here. And this is the folder section. We can create new folder here, and we can save any workflow in any particular folder that we want. Now here I need to create a new workflow. For that, I need to click here on this create workflow button, and this window will pop up. Here I need to name my workflow, so I'm going to name it as my objective, which is to add paid Stripe invoice details in Google Sheet. And now I need to select the folder where I want to save my workflow. So I'm going to open this tab. And in this tab, I will find all the folders that I have created in my Pabbly Connect account. And I'm going to use this particular folder of Google Sheets. And I need to click on create. And it will take us to this most important window of our workflow. Here we have two boxes, trigger and action. So these are the two main principles on which our workflow works on. And trigger says when this happens, action says do this. So trigger is going to be the first step that will get executed in our workflow, and action will just follow that. So we need to set up our trigger first, and here my trigger application is going to be Stripe. So I'm going to select Stripe here, and now I need to give a trigger event. So I'm going to open this tab, and invoice payment succeeded will be my trigger event. So I'm going to select this, and now I need to connect Stripe with Pabbly Connect in my workflow, and for that I'm going to use this webhook URL. And this webhook URL is going to work as a bridge between Stripe and Pabbly Connect. Now for connecting Stripe in my workflow, I need to follow all these instructions. And first I need to copy this webhook URL. I will take you to Stripe. And now in Stripe, I will go to developers. And here in developer settings, I have this option of webhooks. So I'm going to open that. And now I need to add my webhook. So for that, I need to click here on this add endpoint button. And here I have to fill all these details. So first I have to give my endpoint URL. So here I'm going to use my webhook URL that I have copied from Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to paste that here. And now I'm going to give my description. So my description will be paid invoices And now I have to select my event. So for the event, what I need to do is I need to click here on this select event button. And here in events, I'm going to open invoice. And in event, I'm going to search for my event that will be invoice payment succeeded. So I'm going to select this. And now I'm going to click on add events. And I'm going to select my version. So I'm going to open this tab and latest API version will be my version. So I'm going to select that. And now I'm going to add my endpoint. And here I have successfully added my webhook and I have added this endpoint. Now I have to take you back to Pabbly Connect. And here in Pabbly Connect, we can see it is waiting for webhook response. So how I'm going to get this webhook response? For that, I need to successfully make a payment for my invoice and I have to make a paid invoice. So for this, let me take you back to Stripe. I will go to invoices and here I have all these invoices. So I'm going to use this particular invoice. So I'm going to open this. And here this is my invoice. So this invoice was billed to Alex John and the email is alex@pabblytudes.com. This is my invoice number and I have all these details of my invoice. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge this customer and I'm going to make a successful payment for this particular invoice. So I'm going to click here on this charge customer button and I'm going to make the payment. So I'm going to click on charge customer. And here I have successfully paid this invoice. So my payment for this invoice is successful and I have paid this invoice. Now I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect. And here in Pabbly Connect, we can see I have received this response. So in this response, I have all the detail of my invoice. So here I have my request ID, I have my payment ID. Also I have my total amount. But in this response, I'm going to get all the amounts in the lowest currency unit as I'm receiving this amount in INR currency, that is for Indian rupees. So I'm getting this in lowest currency unit of INR, that is Paisa. So that's why I'm getting this much of amount. So this is my total amount. Now I'm going to scroll down and here I have my per unit amount. Also I have my invoice ID. I have my currency, that is INR. I have my course name, that is PHP course for programming 8 weeks. And I have my quantity, that is 1. Also I have my customer details. So this is the random phone number of my customer. I have my customer name, that is Alex John. Email is alex@pabblytudes.com. I have the address state, that is MP. I have the postal code. I have the street address, that is random. Country is India and the city is Bhopal. So here I have received all the detail of my invoice. And now what I need to first do is I need to first change the amount that I'm receiving in my response into a particular currency unit that I want. So for changing my amount, what I need to do is I need to set up my Actions tab. And here in Actions tab, I'm going to use a tool that Pabbly offers, which is Number Formatter. So I'm going to select Number Formatter by Pabbly here. And I need to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab and perform math operation will be my action event. So I'm going to select this. And I'm going to connect Number Formatter by Pabbly with Pabbly Connect. So I'll click here on Connect. And here I need to give my numbers. So here for converting my amount in a particular currency unit, for that what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my amount and I'm going to divide that by 100 so that I can get the particular currency unit that I want. So what I need to do is I need to map the number that I have received from my response of Stripe invoice. And for that I need to use mapping. And what mapping is a technique through which I can retrieve the data from the previous steps and the data that is changing will get replaced with the new data in the real time. So for mapping, I need to click here. I will open the response of Stripe and first I'm going to map the total amount. So I'm going to map this and now I'm going to divide this by 100. So I have to give a comma and I'm going to type 100. So I'm going to divide this amount by 100 to get my total amount. And now I need to select my operation. So I'm going to open this tab and divide will be my operation. Now I need to click on Save and Send as Request button. And here I have received my total amount in the desired currency unit. And now what I need to do is I need to also change my per unit amount. So for that I'm going to add one more Actions tab and I'm going to follow the same steps. So here again I'm going to use Number Formatter. I'm going to select that. I'm going to give my action event. Perform math operation will be my action event. I'm going to connect Number Formatter. And I'm going to give my numbers. So here in the numbers, I'm going to give my per unit amount. So I'm going to click here. I will open the response of Stripe. And here this is my per unit amount. So I'm going to map this. I'm going to give a comma and I'm going to divide this by 100. Now I'm going to select my operation that will be divide. and I'm going to click on Save and Send as Request button. And here I have received my per unit amount. Now I have my amount details and all my invoice details. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all these details and I'm going to add all these details in my Google Sheet. So I'm going to add my last actions tab here. And here my action application is going to be Google Sheets. So I'm going to select Google Sheets here. And now I have to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab and add new row will be my action event. And now I'm going to connect Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect. So I'll click here on Connect. I will click on Add New Connection and I will sign in with Google. Now I need to click on Allow to give access to my account. And here my connection is successful. Now for adding my paid invoice details in Google Sheet, I need to first select my spreadsheet. So for this, let me take you to Google Sheet. And here I'm going to use this particular spreadsheet which is named as Stripe Invoice Payments. And in this spreadsheet, I have all these columns. So in these columns, I'm going to add the detail of the new paid invoice. So I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect. And here I'm going to first select my spreadsheet. So I'm going to open this tab. And in this tab, I will find all the spreadsheets that I've created in my Google Sheet account. So I'm going to use this particular spreadsheet of Stripe Invoice Payments. So I'm going to select this. And here we can see that all these columns were in my spreadsheet. So I have found all these columns here as a tab. So I'm going to fill all these details and I'm going to map all these details with the response that I'm going to receive from Stripe. So first I have to give my invoice ID. So I'm going to click here. I will open this response of Stripe. And here this is my invoice ID. So I'm going to map this. And now I have to give my customer name. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to open the response of Stripe and I'm going to search for the name of my customer. So the name is Alex John. So I'm going to map this. Similarly, I have to give the phone number. So I'm going to open the response of Stripe and I'm going to search for the phone number. So this is my customer phone number. So I'm going to map this. Now I'm going to map the email address. Now I have to give the product name. So I'm going to click here. I will open this response of Stripe. So this is my product name, that is PHP course for programming 8 weeks. Now I have to give the quantity. So this is my quantity, that is 1. And now I have to give my unit price and the total amount. So I'm going to receive my per unit price and the total amount from my number formatter responses. So I'm going to map that. So I'm going to first map my per unit price and I'm going to receive my per unit price from my last number formatter response. So I'm going to map that. Similarly, I'm going to map the total amount. And now I have to give the address. So I'm going to click here. I will open this response of Stripe and I'm going to search for address. So this is my address line. I'm going to first map this. I'm going to give a comma. I'm going to map the city. Again, I'm going to give a comma and I'm going to map the postal code and I'm going to map the state. So this is going to be the full address of my customer. Now I'm going to map the currency, which is INR. Now I'm going to map the status, that is paid. So here I have mapped all the detail of my invoice. Now what is going to happen is that every time I'm going to receive a new response from Stripe for a new paid invoice, then automatically all these details are going to get replaced with the new detail and I'm going to receive new data in the real time. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on Save and Send Test Request button. And here we can see I have received this response. So this is a positive response and this means that I have added all the detail of my paid invoice in Google Sheet. Now to check this, let me take you back to Google Sheet. And here we can see I have received all these details. So here I have my invoice ID, I have my customer name, that is Alex John, I have the random phone number, I have the email, that is alex@pabblytudes.com, I have my product name, that is PHP course for beginners 8 weeks at $4.99 per month, I have my quantity, that is 1, I have per unit price, that is $4,999, I have my total amount, that is again $4,999, I have my address, that is random Bhopal, I have my postal code and the state, that is MP. And I have my currency code, that is INR for Indian rupees, and the status is paid. So here we can see that automatically we have added all the detail of the paid invoice that we have received from Stripe in Google Sheet. So here my connection between Stripe and Google Sheet is working successfully. And now whenever we are going to receive a successful payment for an invoice, then automatically we are going to fetch the data of that invoice and we are going to use those details to add them automatically in Google Sheet. So here my automation and connection between Stripe and Google Sheet is working successfully. And now I can save a lot of time and I can manage my transaction easily. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect. And here I've created this amazing automation between Stripe and Google Sheet to add paid Stripe invoice details in Google Sheets. Now let's summarize what we did here. So first I've set up my trigger, and my trigger application was Stripe, and my trigger event was invoice payment succeeded. Then I've set up my action steps, and I have used number formatter to get my amounts. Then in the last I have used Google Sheets, and here my action event was add new row. So this is how I have successfully created this workflow, and you can also create this workflow by following all the steps that I did in my workflow. And I'm also going to put the link of my workflow in the description so you can check it out from there, and thank you for watching this video. Not just these applications, you can automate and integrate a lot more applications like this by using Pabbly Connect. So if you want to reach out to us, then email us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, then you can write us at forum.pabbly.com, and if you have any issue with the pricing, then you can visit this link. And if you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.